In the next clip, you will be listening to a video from Social Chefs on their social chat, one of their social chatter episodes where I got to be a guest. And in this particular clip, we chatted all about Instagram stories. So this particular week, there was a release of how Instagram stories could be used. And this was the week where they rolled out being able to decide who got to see your stories. So you could do a preferred list, like a VIP list, or just all the other people. So that is what this little clip is about, and it rolls through a little bit of the features and a few of our thoughts on it.
But where do you want to go next?
Well, let's roll into Instagram stories, unless you feel like we've covered that enough.
No, totally. We could totally cover Instagram stories. I don't think we've covered that enough because Instagram is always looking to grow and always come out with new features. So what's this new feature that we have on Instagram?
Oh, sharing with close friends and like being selective and I'm really excited about it because you can have the public account, you can have the business account, but still have multi-purpose with it, and use it as a personal account too, which that's what I was excited about with it.
So basically the feature, it's Instagram's new close friends and list, and if some of these features seem very familiar, they're very similar to ones that Facebook already had. So basically you could build a close friends list on Instagram. And then when you go in your Instagram stories to share some content, you're going to see a nice green icon at the bottom. You can tap that and it's going to share your Instagram stories with that close friends list. Very simple. Phil, what do you think about this feature, by the way? I'm going to play it here, show you guys how easy it is to use.
Yeah, I mean, I like any feature that gives us list view, right? List who to post to. That's one of the things I think that Twitter got completely wrong. I would like to be able to say who to post it to. I want to go to my social chefs buddies. I want to go to Gael and Christian, right? I don't want to go to everybody. This might be relevant. This might not be, right? So I think this is really smart, especially if they make it easy to pick the list. That's really the key here. Close friends at first, sure. Most stuff public. I mean, I'm an all public all the time kind of guy, but that's only because I don't have an easy way to make it better. So I think this is fantastic. I think this also really helps our demographic here of, okay, again, if you're a small business owner, if you like, if it's the left-handed Polish people, then it goes here. If it's the right-handed people who like white wine, it goes here. I think that's really great. And so great step for Instagram. Again, kick Twitter's butt. Twitter should have done this hundreds of years ago. It makes me sad for Twitter and happy for Instagram.
Gail, what do you think, by the way? Well, I'm back here managing a couple of things. What do you think?
So that would have been cool on Twitter. I had no problem being public all the time on Twitter. Being on Twitter was really freeing too, because I felt like, I could say sort of off the wall things without it having a huge impact maybe on, brand, until things change later. But I have kids, and I'm friending people on Facebook for business stuff, and I wouldn't normally share like my kids' pictures with like the whole world. I don't usually post that stuff on my timeline. So I actually went through on my Instagram feed and deleted all of my kids' pictures off of there when I switched my original Instagram account to a business account. And so for me, being able to have those curated lists of who I can share with means that I can feel a little more personal on my Instagram. And then if I want to share it, be a little more personal with it, and intentional with who I'm sharing with, which I think is really cool. Because for me, it would build that relationship in a different way, and kind of not necessarily VIP status, but if I reach a level with someone in a business relationship where we're becoming more friends, then it would be an easy way to share more of my personal life without sharing it to the whole world.
So you slowly would migrate people over, Gail? Maybe from like ultra acquaintance to kind of acquaintance to friend to inner circle. Is that right?
Yeah. So like some of the ladies that are actually commenting away and sending me love and sharing. These are women that I met. Some of them I met on Blab, like way back when.
Cool.
And right. And so I've spent a lot of my life the last 3 years on, like, we're online friends, but I just met most of them, like all of them, I think, for the first time in October in Chicago at Brilliance and Badassery. And they're my friends. Like, when people say, hey, what are you doing today? I'm like, oh, I'm having coffee with my friends. I just left out the part that we're all hanging out on Zoom.
Cool.
Like, where before it was like we were on Blab, and like that's where I met these women. So yeah, so they have, they started as people I didn't really know, and then moved into, okay, we're like colleagues, like we're professionals, we're working together. And now like they are who I go to share, when things are great. They're who I celebrate with. They're who I go to when I'm sad. And, I like sharing my family with them. So yeah, there are people that migrate in.
Cool.
Not everyone.
Well, yeah, no, of course, right? Not everybody kind of graduates up the chain. That's interesting. Right. Well, Yalda says, sometimes you want to post biz stuff, but not bombard your family. Now, that's interesting, Yalda. Right. I have to tell you, my family doesn't know what I do anyway, so I'm a reverse stripper, for those of you who don't know. I get paid to put my clothes back on. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really do that, but it might as well be for what my family knows, right? They have no stinking clue what I do. So I think that's interesting that happens. And my challenge is that my family, even when I do post it, they don't know what it is, right? So I think that's an awesome idea, Yalda. I think that's fascinating that you have any family that actually, you have a better family than me, I guess, because my family doesn't care, right? Or they don't get it. So that's interesting to that. And then Katie Miller says that she's way more conservative on Facebook than I am on Instagram or Snap. And I would ask Katie, I'm curious, and as you answer that, I'm going to ask Gail a question. Is that because of the impermanence of it, because it doesn't last forever, or just because that's who you are, right? Are you a stories gal? Because I know you are on Snapchat, and I know you do a lot of Instagram stories, so I'm curious about that. So, Gail, what about you? I mean, do you feel that you're more conservative in one place or the other, or are you wild and crazy everywhere?
I'm definitely, I'm definitely more conservative on Facebook. And part of it has to do with my target audience for Legacy. So for Legacy Recorder, I'm working with people who are anywhere from 45 and up. And the majority of them are in their 60s and their 70s. And I'm connecting with people who are on boards, they're executives, so I'm pretty conservative for my personality and how I am in real life. I'm pretty conservative across online platforms just because that's part of that branding and wanting to stay true to that without being I can't come up with the right words, not genuine.
Like inauthentic, right?
Right. And yeah. So to use inauthentic, like I'm still myself. I'm just a slightly watered down version, like slightly more professional. I kind of act like I'm on LinkedIn, like everywhere.
Interesting. That's really interesting that you do that. Yeah.
Except for the impermanence part. So like Snapchat, I have a little more fun on Snapchat. I have a little more fun on other platforms. So it's just when it comes to the business stuff and it comes to using these platforms for engaging with potential audience, my potential audience is everywhere. So I kind of mind my P's and Q's everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. That's so interesting because, I guess I don't really think about it as far as me. I think about who my audience is, right? Like on LinkedIn, my audience is definitely a little more buttoned up. On Facebook, I think they're a little more into the personal side, and on Twitter, I guess it's kind of everything. And I'm not really good on Snapchat or Instagram, so that's interesting how that works. But like tonight, I have to say, like I was at an event. And the most fun picture that I got was a blurry picture with my buddy who was totally, his eyes were closed. and it was a fun, just a fun picture, but I would never post it on LinkedIn, right? I think, yeah, that's probably not going to work. So that's really interesting. Katie says her personality isn't different, but she's never wild. She just doesn't share as openly on Facebook because of the people that are there. So I think that's interesting. Perhaps lists will change that, right? Perhaps lists will say, you know what, I don't want to post for my husband and my pastor and my dog this stuff, and I do want to post this stuff. So I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. I guess I platform select, right? I do that because it's audience selection more than it is me.
And I'd also say that the experience online for me is different than the experience online for you. And the expectation of how we engage online and how we're perceived as we engage online is different. And the reactions and the consequences.
What do you mean? Why is that?
Societal expectations.
Oh, you mean because of our
gender? Like,
oh, I got you.
My
Okay.
experience versus your experience is like, and like Katie's experience, like, I could probably, I don't know Katie, at least I don't think I know Katie, but yeah, she's probably not wild anywhere on any platform, but she felt like she had to say that because it was insinuated that she might be wild on another platform, which could really hurt her brand. It could hurt her professionally. And yeah, so, and that's really like, it's totally a thing.
No, so, I believe you. I just think that's really interesting to me because I'm totally not disagreeing with you. I just want to be clear, right? I don't even think about that. And then you say it and it's like, okay, I can see that. I can also tell you that sometimes, right? Sometimes that is more of a feminine construct than it is a male construct. Like, I don't care. You just be yourself. I don't give a crap, right? Like, I just want to hang out. It doesn't matter to me, right? I'm not judging you based on anything you post other than unless you can't type. And if you're a bad speller, like if you say loose instead of lose, we're probably not going to be friends. I'm just letting you know. So that's like total pet peeve of mine, right? So, but in all seriousness, I totally get it, right? I totally understand. I think that is the case because some people are very judgmental, but those are people that are clowns anyway offline. So hopefully I'm not letting them in as friends anyway. I mean, that's my belief, right? Because I give people kind of the one strike rule, which is if you're a jackass, I'm giving you the boots. Smell you later, right? I don't even care. I don't care what gender you are or anything, right? So but I get you. I get what you're saying. So that's interesting. So Joanne says she uses acquaintances on Facebook to make sure she posts to more people. So that's pretty cool. And Katie's got I get what you say, Gail. So that's good. And Joanne also doesn't like people who say loose instead of lose. So Joanne, we should start a group for that because I feel like I need therapy about twice a day on this stuff. That drives me nuts. So cool. Awesome. So Christian, anything you want to add, dude?
The only thing I want to add is, this is only for Instagram profiles at the moment. I anticipate at some point, maybe they'll have this available for business accounts, but the thing that I want to mention, is you can tier your friends, for example. So if you've got friends that, you're very well connected to, you've got your personal updates and you want them to see those sorts of things, move them into your close friends list, consider moving some of your customers into your close friends list as well. If they're your super fan, if you're your best customers, the people that are, like your tribe, basically, if they're people that, you want to, share your personal updates with, move them into that close friends list as well. So don't be afraid to kind of mix, the two things together until this does come out for Instagram business profiles.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Take a moment to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications when new videos drop. And I can't wait to see you on the next video.